little yarmulke boy. Here we go. Here we go. All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Randall. This is the McClures. We react, review, we make fun of, we laugh at stuff over here. Links down in the description if you want to help support the channel. You can shop McClures.com. That's the website. We sell quality American products. That's what keeps us going. YouTube won't monetize me because they suck. So find us on rumble.com/McClures. That's where we're trying to build things up. I do have my Louder with Crowder mug over my shoulder still. We went down the Dave Landau thing. It didn't make me want to remove my Louder with Crowder mug. But on this video, we should probably reestablish our Leftist Tears Tumblr as part of this stream. During the initial tuss-up with Crowder and Daily Wire, I chose a side, and we removed the Leftist Tears Tumblr mug, and we took it down. But I don't think we need to take it down. I don't think we need to take it down. Daily Wire's probably a piece of shit. Crowder's probably a piece of shit as well. But we enjoy their content. And we did pay for the fucking cups, right? Exactly. We did pay for the cups. So we'll put that back up in the stream. We'll get that going in the picture again. We are going... My wife just texted me and said, "You're looking like a fool on here, sir." Something on my mustache. See, this is why you guys should all find a wife. She is willing to tell you if you're looking dumb on stream. Because none of you motherfuckers did. None of you guys did. Alright, so we're going to get into this. This is Ben Shapiro's interview with the viral anti-woke rapper. I don't know if that's what I'd call him. But Tom Macdonald did an interview on Daily Wire with Ben Shapiro. It's not a long interview, but we definitely wanted to get into it. Shout out to Tom Macdonald for continuing his escalator ride to the top. He is moving on up and doing big things. I think this is going to be his third #1 in a row on Billboard. I believe he will end up beating Morgan Wallen for the #1. So we got our fingers crossed for him. So hopefully he pulls it out. But let's get into this. Ben Shapiro interviewing Tom Macdonald. If you haven't checked out Dirty Money yet, that's Tom Macdonald's new song. I do have a reaction to it, but what you need to do is go download the original from iTunes or Amazon, and that's what helps bump him over the edge in Billboard, so he can get his accolades and beat the mainstream. That's the whole thing. Beat the mainstream. All right, I'll keep yakking. Let's get into this. Ben interviews Tom Macdonald. Let's go.
All right, joining us on the line is Tom Macdonald. You've seen his videos. You've heard his songs. He says what most Americans think without fear. He doesn't censor himself. He has a brand new music video called Dirty Money. It was just released on Friday. It already has like 3 million views on YouTube. Tom, thanks for joining the show. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me.
So let's talk about, how your music career originally happened, because it's very rare to spot anybody remotely near the music industry who does not simply follow the left-wing line on pretty much all the issues. But you very vocally do not. So how'd you get where you are?
Well, I think the key to everything has been I'm totally independent. I have no ties to the music industry whatsoever. I've sort of created my own little ecosystem outside of the music industry. I produce all of my music. I write all my songs. My girlfriend shoots all my videos. We distribute my music independently. There is no affiliation with any record label, manager, PR team, marketing, publicist, distro, nothing. So it's just us. And I've been doing it for about 10 years. And and just like you said, man, I'm making music about the things that I think people are afraid to talk about.
That's amazing. I mean, the response has been
That's
absolutely
facts.
incredible. You can see it from the number of views on all.
That is amazing, though, how independent Tom is. There's a lot of independent artists who still have managers and PR people and distribution companies. So, I mean, they're kind of independent, but they got a lot of helping hands, so to speak. And he does it all, which is a crazy amount of work. But you also get all the profits too. So I'm sure he's stacking cash like crazy.
All of your music videos. So how do you go about writing a song? Both musically and then also in terms of the lyrics. Which do you do first? You do the music first, the lyrics first, and where are you getting sort of the material from?
It's all
That's actually a really good question. I was curious if Ben would have good questions. He's not like known to be musical. Well, I guess he is. He plays the violin. So maybe he will have good musical questions. I just didn't think of him as being relatable to Tom in any way, shape, or form, so I thought it might be an awkward interview. But he does have some music background, so he might have some good questions. That was a good question.
it's always a different process. Since I make all of my own beats, like sometimes I come into the studio with no
I spent 15 years of my career trying to create the digital notebook. Remarkable, solved it.
concept, with no direction, and just sort of create freely, and it just comes about naturally. But like, like a lot of people out there, I think we're just sort of bombarded with like information these days, whether it's the news or the newspaper or on the internet or on social media. It's just like this constant bombardment of headlines and stuff happening in the world. So I'm just taking all of this information in and digesting it as best as I can. And, sometimes regurgitating it back out into songs of my thoughts and feelings about what's going on in the world today. So yeah, I think it's pretty hard, like, to not feel some type of way about all the craziness sort of taking place these days.
So why don't you tell me about sort of the origins of Dirty Money? It just came out on Friday, and as I say, it's racking up millions of views almost immediately. Where did that one come from?
I've always just been sort of interested in politics and sort of the inner workings of things. And I'm not like a political scientist. I'm not super well versed in a lot of the stuff that's going on. But I think where I can connect with people is that I'm just like a regular person, and I'm getting all the same information that all the other regular people are. I'm just fortunate enough to have a platform and have the skill to make music. And it's just a great forum for me to sort of like speak the things that I'm thinking. So when I watch the news, or I read the paper, or I read articles online, I just have a great venue to sort of just speak my mind. So, and I do that from like a regular person's perspective, which is why I think I connect with people like so well.
So,
and dirty.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, dirty money is just a reflection of like a lot of the things going on right now. And I think, especially in America, speaking of money, like financially and economically, I think that we're in a real hard place right now. So I wrote this song 6 months ago. It just happened to be the right time for it now.
So let's talk about kind of how your music career got started, because
that's kind of interesting insight, though. That's not something that he wrote that recently. Interesting. Because it definitely hit like it was written recently. You know what I mean? Okay, interesting.
We were talking right before we got on the line about the fact that you used to work construction. So how did you get to where you are right now? Like, when did you first take up music? How did this happen?
Well, I was a professional wrestler for many, many years, like the WWE style stuff. And that sort of chapter of my life came to a close. Just like there's a lot of internal politics in wrestling, and
that part is so funny to me. That part is so funny to me that he was a WWE style wrestler. When he did that whole diss battle with what is that guy's name? The guy who like raps to pancakes or whatever, Mac Lethal. When he had the whole diss battle back with Mac Lethal, If you haven't seen Tom MacDonald's diss songs to Mac Lethal, they are by far some of the best diss songs put out. They are a work of art. It's a master class in dissing somebody. So yeah, you definitely should go check those out. But all right, let's get into this.
Accumulated injuries.
Mac
So I had to get out of
Lethal.
that business.
There you go.
And I'd always been sort of writing poetry and writing rock songs. Didn't have the voice. It wasn't a Robert Plant, Joe Cocker vocalist. But I still needed an outlet, and I had been writing music. So rap and hip hop just was sort of the natural direction for somebody that didn't have a big rock star frontman voice. So got into rap and hip hop, made the exact same music as everybody else for many years, probably 6 or 7 years. Everything was about cars and clothes and money and girls and partying and all that stuff. And I was emulating a lot of like what I was seeing the biggest artists of the time doing. And not only emulating it in my music, but emulating it in my real life, which led me down a super destructive path, which sort of culminated with like a little bit of a bout with alcoholism, which sort of led to a little bit of a mental breakdown. And that took me like 9 months to close to a year to rehab myself from that. So now I'm completely sober. And I sort of coming out of that dark place, it gave me an opportunity to sort of examine what do I care about and what do I want to make in my music and who do I want to talk to with my music. And I just sort of made the decision, like, I don't want to make music that's going to damage other people like the music I was listening to damaged me. So now I'm here, sober as a judge, making what the world has deemed to be super controversial music, but it's just stuff that I truly care about.
So how'd you get into American politics in the first place? You're from Canada, right? You're from our northern neighbor?
Yeah.
So what got you into American politics?
Well, I think that the whole world is sort of into American politics from childhood. Even like growing up in Canada, like
kind of gotta be.
My dad and my grandfather were always like really into politics. So I'd sit around and watch TV with them and listen to them talking. And it's really crazy. Like even back then when I was a kid, they were talking about China and sort of warning me about, hey man, China's going to be a big deal one day. You need to pay attention to this stuff. And here we are today. And it's just like a little bit of a deja vu. But so you kind of absorb a lot of that just coming up in Canada. American politics are sort of spotlighted globally, I think. And then moving to America like 8 or 9 years ago now.
Leslie says that she knows every word to the Tom MacDonald diss tracks. I do believe it. They're fire songs. They're fire songs for sure.
It was a little bit of a culture shock. And I think that there's a lot of people here that get so wrapped up in it all the time, and they're in it from birth, that I think that I had a little bit of a unique perspective, because I think sometimes it's that old saying, you can't see the forest through the trees, and I think that's where a lot of people are at within the country right now. They're just so surrounded by this stuff and have been for so long that it's hard for them to sort of like differentiate and focus on different things. So coming in from an outsider's perspective 8-9 years ago, I kind of got to stand back and look at everything and say, holy cow, this is...
I think that's another reason too people actually listen to what Tom's saying in the songs, because he's not American. He does bring that outside perspective, or looking at it from, an outside lens. And what's up with the designer shirts with holes in them? I don't understand the let's charge 10x for the shirt and make it look like it's a homeless guy's shirt. I never understood the fashion.
This is wild. What's taking place here, and it's only got crazier.
I'm so fat.
Brendan, you're not fat. It's the shirt.
No, Brendan, you're fat.
Look
bro.
at Nate. His true classic is
Crazier over the last 9 years. So.
Well, I was very flattered that Facts Don't Care About Your Feelings does actually show up in one of your big songs, Fake Woke. I don't know.
Hey, man, I've been called the Ben Shapiro of rap many times.
Well, I mean, speaking of that, I've been called the Ben Shapiro of rap because obviously I had my amazing recording of WAP, the Cardi B hit, which I gotta say, my version slaps significantly harder than the Cardi B version.
Yo, slap significantly harder. Awesome.
Well, I mean, there have been calls. I mean, I'm just going to put it out there. There have been calls for us to collaborate, and I know that it would probably be degrading your art for us to do that. But I will say that my rap, I feel it's an untapped field for me.
Yeah,
it's something that I've always wanted to. It's sort of like my feminine identity as a black lesbian woman. It's sort of like an area that I feel is just absolutely. I've never touched it. I've never really gone like. I'm a classically trained violinist since the age of 5, and so Mozart and Beethoven and Bach and Brahms are really more my style. But I feel like there's a part of me that I just haven't accessed, and so maybe I don't know if the crowd wants it, then perhaps I'll be forced to solicit your help in joining the.
He needs to release that inner rapper that's all tied up in this tiny Jewish guy. That is funny. That is funny.
The rap industry, is it called? I don't even know what it's called. R&B.
Hey, Ben, if there is untapped potential here, if there's a fire burning somewhere deep inside your soul that's making you want to spit some super hot bars with me, I'm down. Let's make it happen.
Well, I really appreciate the invitation. I'm sure nothing would horrify you more, but perhaps we will. Perhaps we will make that happen sometime in the future to the consternation of both my audience and your own. Tom Macdonald, you should go check out his brand new music video, Dirty Money. It's out on YouTube right now. Tom, really appreciate the time and congratulations.
It was a pleasure, man. Thank you so much.
Alrighty, guys, the rest of the show is continuing right now.
That is funny. Well, shout out to Tom for getting some more recognition and getting on the news. It seems like every song that he does, he starts getting more and more mainstream attention. Obviously everybody on YouTube and everybody in the rap world or people that listen to it, everybody like that knows who he is. But he's starting to reach the masses, getting all these news hits. He did a bunch of news up in Canada as well. He did a bunch of radio and stuff for his last song. I remember seeing all those Instagrams. So shout out Tom Macdonald. If you haven't downloaded his new song, Dirty Money, go check it out. He's still trying to get the Billboard #1, so make sure you go help him out. I don't have a link for it, otherwise I'd drop it in the chat for you guys. But go check it out. I appreciate you guys stopping by for that video. If you're on the live, we're going to keep going. But if you're just here for the video, why aren't you on the live? We go live Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 3:30 to 5:30, rumble.com/McClures. You can always support the channel. Shop at McClures.com is the website. ShopMcClures.com. We sell quality American products over there. Find out if we have anything that you need. Get you a new holster or something. Later, bye.